to still go through Semper, who's looking really good right now.
He is, but ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the game and introducing the players as they are up. Here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Protoss player from Team On Fire looking for a comeback. Give it up for Neeb.
Yeah, he's looking for a comeback indeed, and I wonder if he'll go for maybe Mass Cannon again. But looking to prevent him from doing that, it is the blue Terran player spawning in the bottom left position of Dusk Towers. It's Elevates MaSa. Got that elevation mountain.
Wearing an elevation jersey as well, but it's kind of funny you mentioned the cannons, because I believe this is the map that we ended up seeing a lot of those cannons coming down from Neeb, really just showing how defensive he felt he had to be versus a player like MaSa, who's so well known for doing so much drop harassment.
Yes, I wonder. Ooh, looks like MaSa once again going to go for that supply depot block. I think he's going to let it
get a little bit further this time.
Yes, not going to let that probe in. Good decision from MaSa. Actually doing the cancel trick to get the SCV out of range of the probe, but Neeb counter-microing right there, making sure he targets it down.
Really great trick for all of you Protoss players out there. If you actually just shift-click the SCV around like 8 to 10 times, doesn't matter however many times it actually moves around, every single time it comes back, you will pretty much be able to attack it.
Sounds like a 99% useful fact from Fear Dragon.
Yeah, I don't do those.
Yeah.
I don't do those.
That's a lie. You just did one.
No,
that's very useful.
Maybe
I'd say
you did catch me.
I'd say that's about 75% useful.
I used to actually win a lot of games. Back in the days of like Cloud Kingdom, I'd move across the map with one Chrono Boosted Zealot and a probe, and I would win so many games.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. I'd actually delay the barracks, and then the Zealot would come in and be like, oh, you actually don't have a bunker because you're playing greedy, and you have fewer Marines because your barracks is delayed?
Yeah, looking at the builds, MaSa actually taking advantage of that block on the scout did go for the build we might have thought he was going for last game, which is third command center before gas or second racks.
And Neeb not going to have any idea about it this game, but he is going to be going for a Stargate, so he should be able to get into that base relatively shortly with an Oracle, trying to do a little bit of harassment. And I am sort of interested to see where this is going to go, because one of those things that we saw about MaSa was he is sort of like, I think we were talking about this, he's sort of like July Zerg. If you are a viewer from one of those old StarCraft 2 days where he kind of just has a switch, and once you flip it, he just decides he's going to be attacking you from that moment onward till the end of the game.
And not just attacking you, but macroing like a god.
Yes. It is definitely not an all-in style. It is a rally style where you are just constantly rallying units across the map, constantly, never seizing the aggression. And when the aggression is seized, it's because he's loading up those units for a medevac drop at the backside.
Yeah, MaSa just so good at that style. We do see that Oracle being chronoed out from Neeb, and back in MaSa's base, we have that second racks finally coming down, following up second and third racks, as well as Stim on the way, following up that third command center. That third command center is MaSa feels so comfortable going for that, and it really pushes him into a nice position going into the mid and late game.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen a lot of hyper-aggression out of Neeb, I would say. He has been playing this a little bit more macro-oriented, looking to try and get to the late game. I do believe that when we saw, MaSa play against some of the Protoss players, he really, I would say the big thing that he would end up eating a lot of were a lot of those storms. When Protoss players were able to get to that storm, they were really able to do, I think, a lot better in the direct engagements against MaSa. They would just, the problem was they would eventually run out of storms, and then MaSa would just charge on through. But, you know, if Neeb can get to that late game safely, might end up working out. And how did this Marine get in there?
I have no idea, but that Marine would have had a story to tell if it hadn't just been executed by 3 Adepts. But yeah, I agree with you. The storms seem to be MaSa's only maybe kryptonite, but he was just so good at mitigating the energy on those High Templar, and that was what ultimately caused him to win the game against Neeb when they played on this map before. He kept snowballing, and Neeb could never get the critical mass of High Templar he needed, and eventually MaSa was able to just push through.
Well, nice use, or interesting use, I should say, of that Oracle. Getting that Stasis Award down, as I believe the Oracle has been maneuvering itself around, trying to find opportunities for attack, and does, again, have 2 kills. But for the most part, we are going to be seeing a pretty passive game so far. MaSa, again, just getting up some of that production and not even really going for a lot of the drop harassment right now.
Yeah, not so much. It is because he powered so hard off of those early units, early third command center.
Getting a later starport and everything, and not really able to get out the medevacs until just now.
No, but now he is going for those double medevacs as well as the 4th and 5th barracks. Going to allow him to really ramp up the production. Nice control from that Oracle, killing a couple more SCVs. Oh wow, 3rd SCV and a Marine.
Missile turrets be damned.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have +1 weapons coming out from MaSa. I can't express enough. Such a greedy build from him, putting him in such a great position going into the mid game.
Yeah, Marines from MaSa also trying to move out and catch this Oracle. Not quite going to be able to do it, but you know, knowing MaSa, and of course he is sending them straight across the map, and he just says, okay. I was going to say, MaSa is like the only player I know who'd be like, well, my Marines are kind of out on the map. Why don't I just go for an attack? He won't be expecting this right now. Like, maybe I can get a sentry sniper or something.
But we do see actually something pretty crazy coming out from Neeb, adding on 7 gateways to time out with the finishing of Blink and +1 weapons. I think he might be going for a Blink Stalker all-in. With that Warp Prism finishing up, he's going to have the potential to warp in across the map. No gas coming down at his 3rd base, and he's cut workers. This is almost definitely going to be a huge Blink Stalker all-in.
This is going to be a very, very big attack, and he's actually loading up just a couple of those Adepts with the Warp Prism, trying to move around maybe to the back side and try to attack at the back while he maybe moves into the front. This could be a really effective tactic, but he's going to be potentially encountering all these medevacs. No, they're just barely going to be passing past each other outside of vision range.
This is so weird and bizarre. If Neeb can catch those medevacs, this is going to make his attack so much stronger, but if he starts moving across the map before the medevacs go in, it's going to be a crazy base trade, I feel.
You know, I actually don't know if Neeb is really planning to go for the big attack. 10 warp gates, I'm starting to think about it. If you're not going for any roboxility units, you're not really pumping out anything besides maybe like observers. It can just be sort of for getting out a lot of gateway units, but here we go. The drop comes in over here for MaSa, canceling all the warp-ins. That's really painful. And what is Neeb doing? He's actually moving out across the map with these units. Oh no.
That is a really bit of a weird decision. We do see some Blink Stalkers on the coming back to the natural expansion, but it did get picked off, and MaSa getting out with about half of his army. Yeah,
and taking literally 0 SCV losses with those Adepts coming into the main base, because the Marauders and the Marines are already there and prepared. Neeb losing one of his expansions is a really big deal. Even if the minerals seem like they're mining out over there, it's all about that gas income.
Yeah, getting knocked back down to 4 gas does hurt for a Protoss player, especially when he only grabbed that 5th and 6th gas just before that drop came in.
Yeah, Warp Prism is warping in a couple more units, and MaSa is starting to move out, so maybe this is the opportunity for him to get some damage done, as that Warp Prism is potentially going to be moving in soon.
Yeah, did see with the Observer, MaSa's army moving out across the map, waiting for it to get a little bit further committed, I feel, before dropping back in here. I do like that decision.
Oh, big warping coming in, and this is, again, what I really do like about Neeb's play. It didn't really work out the first time, but MaSa does tend to move all of his units across the map in a big rally, but here we go. MaSa also attacking on the other side of the map, but I feel like Neeb actually has enough to deal with this.
Yeah, some nice force fields there, segmenting the army. At least splitting it up.
Oh man, and these Adepts are going absolutely ham. 30 workers killed so far. There are a couple more Adepts in the main base, still doing some damage, and more Adepts are getting warped in. The Liberator is finally going to go after that Warp Prism, but where did the SCVs retreat to? Because now they're at the 3rd expansion. That's the only place that they're really mining, but more Adepts end up over there. 50 workers killed so far.
Yeah, I know exactly where the Adepts retreated to, and they retreated to their death. But look at that Stasis Ward catching so many Marauders and Marines.
Oh, MaSa trying to go for the big attack straight into the army, and it doesn't work out. Neeb bringing himself onto the scoreboard, 1-2.
Starting that comeback is Neeb. And wow, that's got to feel so good as Neeb after losing that natural expansion. Able to actually bring it back with those Adepts. I really like the timing of that. He saw the army moving out, but he waited until it was more committed across the map before actually moving in with those adepts.
Absolutely, and this is one of those things that we keep seeing out of MaSa. It's maybe the one big weakness that we could potentially identify about MaSa's playstyle in that rally form, is that a lot of the reason why players will oftentimes not just rally out all their Terran bio units straight across the map is that sometimes you do want a couple units to stay at home just in case there's a counterattack, and then you move out in clumps, you move out in groups. But the fact that Neeb was able to move in at the exact moment that the army moved out, and MaSa was so far out of position, he was able to do this big warp in and defend. That was the other big thing. He had a great defense prepared at the top of the ramp with not only the stasis trap that we ended up seeing a little bit later on, but he had Guardian Shield prepared with the sentry actually well microed. As soon as he gets target fire, he moves it back and everything, doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, that was really nice. Just really good feeling game for Neeb, I feel. That's if there's ever a game when you're down to the wire in a best of 5, best of 7, best of 9 series, it's a game like that you want as your first comeback game, because not only does it give you that confidence, it also kind of shakes your opponent mentally, I feel. It's like, oh, well, game 1, you got that weird ghost build. Game 2, you got lucky with the stim timing. But game 3, I just rocked you. I just killed 50 SCVs. How do you feel about that going into game 4?
It definitely is a little bit painful, and there were a couple of scary moments in that game, like when that 4 medevac drops came in and killed off the Nexus and everything. And Neeb maybe not feeling super comfortable about that, but as you were saying, I would still say, you know, Neeb going to be feeling much better about it. Like, and now he's going to be feeling much better, saying, okay, I won a game. It's not just like this undefeatable tyrant that's just going to stomp me and knock me down the loser's bracket or something like that. Instead, he suddenly feels like, hey, I've got a shot at this. I'm actually a very strong player. I'm considered the best Protoss player in all of North America right now. Let's do this. Game number 4.
Laralac Crest, go. And we do see